Hello, everyone. I am very glad tonight, because I have Vicki Giovanni. She is a professor at Lambton College and has a large experience in long-term care facilities as a recreation therapist. It's a great opportunity to have her here to share her experience and tips with us. So let's see if she's already here. Hello, Vicki. Welcome.
Hi, Fernanda. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Vicki, I always like to start my guests to talk about education. Could you talk about it and your background and places that you've worked?
Sure. I went to school at Lambton College and took the Sports and Recreation Administration program over 20 years ago. From my experience there, I and through my internships, I found the field of recreation therapy and then went on to Georgian College and took my postgraduate there and graduated. Then I went back to school late 20, 2010 maybe, and I began taking my master's degree through Indiana University online, and have completed my coursework, but not my thesis.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's an echo here. Let me see. Still? No, better. Okay, and you've worked in long-term care facilities, right?
Yes, ever since I graduated, I've been working in long-term care, so that's been 22 years.
Yes. Okay, this month is Therapeutic Recreation Month, Awareness Month. This channel is to TRs, but also to other health professionals and for public in general. I would like to hear from you a quick definition about recreation therapy, what it is, and also if you can tell the difference between recreation therapy and occupational therapy.
Sure. My definition of recreation therapy is the use of recreation, leisure, and play as modalities to improve the overall person, looking at them holistically. So being able to work with them through those avenues of leisure, play, and recreation to improve functional abilities, work on cognition, social skills, spiritual, just looking at the individual holistically. Uh, with regards to occupational therapy, one thing I have read is uh, they've said that physiotherapy, they work with the big muscles. Occupational therapy, they work with the fine motor muscles. And then I like to say that recreation therapists work holistically with the individual. They don't focus just on one muscle group. They work with every aspect of the person.
Great, yeah. And what are the implications of leisure on health and the absence of leisure as well?
With regards to the absence of leisure on an individual, you can see some of that decline in functional ability. So you might have, if you're lacking physical leisure or physical activity, you might see obesity, decrease in range of motion, endurance, being able to complete everyday activities. If you lack leisure and the social supports and social activities, you you might become socially isolated, and we're seeing that now with the COVID pandemic and our second lockdown here in Ontario, where we're not able to get together with our family and our friends, and haven't for quite some time. But so we are starting to see social isolation occurring with some of our older adults. We are seeing depression occurring, just because people can't get out. And like on that note, we live in such a beautiful province and country that it's ideal to make use of our natural environment and get out and into nature, so that we can at least uh, maintain that physical leisure, so that we can get out and still participate in leisure and recreation activities and play activities, depending on your age. So those are some of the implications and limitations that we see if we lack leisure in our life.
Mhm. And you have more than 20 years of experience, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you remember some client that you worked with that you feel like, oh, I made the right choice in my life? Do you remember?
I
A
oh
lot,
yes,
right?
yeah. There are always clients, residents that I've worked with over the 20 years that bring that, oh yes, I was able to help them. I and through either their nonverbal or verbal communication, they've been able to express that, um, to me, that they've seen an improvement. Unfortunately, for confidentiality, I can't go into
Sure, sure. So,
details, but yeah.
yeah, let's talk about real life. We all know the importance of the team, the interdisciplinary team. I would like to ask you to talk about it, the importance of working in a team. And still talking about it, I have a question that will be important for new grads and for recreation therapists in general. And I think you, with your experience, you'll be able to answer. Suppose you work in a long-term care facility or other agency, and you love your residents, you love your job, you love the work you are doing, but you feel that the team is not supporting you, or maybe you don't feel connected with their style of work. It happens. So you
Mhm.
have the option to leave, but you want to stay for the clients. Which strategies you suggest to TRs to keep doing her or his job while providing services with efficiency in a situation like that?
Well, I've worked in long-term care since 1998, and back then, the recreation department was seen as the bingo, the bingo players. That's all, nursing or dietary or the team thought of us. And there is still that stigma with recreation therapy and recreation today. Um, so it's a matter of the recreation team sticking together and supporting each other. We're usually such a small team within the organization that we should work cohesively together and support each other, especially if we're having a bad day where we aren't feeling supported by our interdisciplinary team. Uh, so that's very important, to be a part of the recreation team, to be supportive of each other. And then, of course, if you are having one of those days, it's all about the residents. You always have to put a smile on. I did work in management for 10 years, and this was something I learned through an education session I went to, and I shared with some of my employees, is that no one knows what's going on behind a smile. So if you're having a bad day, just smile. Or if you're having conflict with an individual, smile as you pass in the hallway, and that's going to brighten their day. So as long as you're open and approachable, um, respectful of the team, that certainly is a good tip for new grads. Um, if there's conflict, smile. No one knows what you're thinking. Um, and then be supportive of each other, and it all comes down to your clients, your residents who you're working with, it and you're there for them. um, so that's a big part of it as well. Advocacy is a big part of our role in recreation therapy, and we need to advocate for our profession and what we do. And not many people are aware of what recreation therapy is and what we do. Like when I went to school, I had to explain it numerous times to my parents what I'm taking, what I'm doing. Um, so it's continuous. And today's February 1st, so it's the beginning of Recreation Therapy Awareness Month in Canada and in the United States. So the profession is working towards educating the public, our clients, our client families, um, the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary team with the benefits of recreation therapy, and that we aren't just playing bingo.
Yeah. Vicki, TRs work in long-term care facilities, hospitals, hospice, mental health centers, and etc., etc., etc. Is there some place or some places that you would like to see recreation therapy in the future?
I've always liked the idea of having a recreation therapist on a health promotion team. And I think possibly in larger cities, you might see that. But here in Sarnia, Lambton, it's quite small. So as a recreation therapist, treating the individual holistically and providing leisure education programs, we can play a part in health promotion. So that is one area where I feel that we need to see more recreation therapists involved in.
Mhm. I think you are very passionate about teaching.
Yes, I am.
After many years of experience in the field of recreation therapy, what what do you like to do most? What motivates you?
Oh, what
Um,
motivates me?
I mean, do you like more teaching or work as a recreation therapist in long term care?
I
You
I
like
like. I'm going to
what?
say equally. I love teaching. I love sharing my experience and my knowledge with students. Even before teaching, I enjoyed mentoring new employees when I was in my management role. So I've always had that passion for sharing, and teaching new graduates and students. So I don't know what actually motivates me. That just might be a part of who I am, but I do. I've always enjoyed that before I started teaching, and once I had the opportunity, I love teaching. I enjoy students that ask questions and want to learn, want to hear my experiences, and I try to pull my experiences in to my classes. This term, I'm teaching research, which you asked what I love. If you had to ask topics, the two classes that I'm teaching this term, I love. They're things that I enjoy. I love documentation, I love assessments, and I love research.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping to bring that passion to my students. I did say that my one of my goals for the research class was to have my students enjoy and like research, rather than to be apprehensive of it. So I Yeah, I just like sharing. I like, you know, the students now are going to be taking care of me when I move into long-term care. So I want to make sure that we have the best students out there so that, I'm being taken care of well. And mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, teachers and TRs have a lot in common because they like to help individuals, right, to achieve goals.
Yeah.
So they want to teach new skills. They should be empathetic. Uh, so, yeah. Uh, could you give us some tips for TRs and students to keep them motivated in the field?
Hmm. That's probably one of the most difficult questions that you've asked today, Fernanda. Uh, Tips for motivation. I would have to say, uh, be active in self-care. Make sure that you're looking after yourself so that your mindset, uh, you're going into work with um, a positive attitude and a positive insight, especially if you are working in an area where you don't have that support. So, self care is very important for recreation therapists and for anybody, for our clients. So, I think that's the biggest tip is self care.
Mhm.
And having a good social support yourself, a good social network. Um, I have a very good friend at work who we are each other's support, so we can share some of those frustrations that we might have. We can brainstorm off of each other. What would you do in this situation? So it's nice to have that support as at work as well. So and at home, having the support of your family, your partner, your parents, wherever, whatever family support you have, uh,
Mhm.
so that you can express yourself and you don't keep it bottled up if you are having a bad day. So, hmm.
Mhm. Vicki, you are on board of Troll.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. I've just started on the board in June of 2020, so I haven't even finished a year on the board. I'm a member of the Practice Review Committee, and I'm enjoying my time with that committee. The Practice Review Committee, uh, we we review any educational sessions that are are being promoted by TRO, and are applying for professional contribution credits. We also, anyone who is applying for the RTRO designation or RTRO DIP designation, those packages are reviewed as well. So those are two of the subcommittees that I'm working with on the practice review committee. So I've enjoyed my time with TRO. It's an exciting opportunity. I have learned more about the organization being on the board and what is occurring kind of behind the scenes uh, than as a member. So I've really enjoyed my time and I look forward to my second year of my term and hopefully will continue on in additional terms. But yeah, it's TRO is such an amazing organization. Since COVID and the pandemic has occurred, we TRO has really been advocating for the profession of therapeutic recreation, and especially in long-term care. So I know some professionals, some agencies, some managers have believed that TRO is more for the hospital setting, the children treatment centers, that those types of employment opportunities, but we've seen how TRO supports the field of long-term care and is advocating the government so that the government is aware of the importance of therapeutic recreation in long-term care.
And you encourage your students to do the membership, right?
Pardon me?
You encourage your students to be part of TRO too.
Yes, yeah, I share information from TRO. I've had students approach me privately regarding information for the registration. I also compare and share the information regarding uh, our the Ontario board, but I also explain what CTRS is and the National Council for Therapeutic Recreation certification is, just so that students are aware of the different designations that you might see throughout your career and working with recreation therapists. So,
And they are all webinars, so interesting, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
as
online.
yes. Yeah, students, if you're a student and your college or university is part of the education if they have an educational institution membership, then the students have access to the webinars, and I'm 99.9% sure they're free for students. So it's a great way to accumulate professional contribution credits if you're looking to become registered.
Yeah. Oh, Vicki, is there something you'd like to talk that I didn't ask you?
I don't think so. Did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, you did. We could stay here for hours. I would have so many questions, but we don't have time for that. So just a quick something that you'd like to say.
I think it's really great that you are doing this, Fernanda, that you're sharing recreation therapists' experiences to the public, and you've had some amazing speakers over the last little while, educating and promoting the field. So I think thank you very much. This is a great thing that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your great. It was really a pleasure to have you here. And you brought excellent informations, and I am sure everyone loved
Thanks.
you. Okay, so bye bye, everybody. See you next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Okay?